Virgin Gorda in the British Virgin Islands is often referred to as the billionaire's playground. Looking throughout the anchorage from my humble 38-foot 1984 monohull sailboat Adventureborn, it was obvious to me that nearly every other boat there cost at a minimum 20 times more than mine. And of the mega yachts, all were no doubt spending far more than my boat's total market value just to operate for a week. But later on that evening, I was looking over at this particular mega yacht. I noticed he had a 26-foot monohull sailboat for day sailing tied alongside his behemoth motor yacht. Mind you, all of this gets craned up to the top of the mega yacht when they move. And that got me thinking and reflecting back on my own ocean-going lifestyle. So here's what I find so fascinating. Here's what I find so funny. And here is my 100% biased view of a billionaire's mega yacht lifestyle versus my humble budget sailboat adventure lifestyle. Let's dive on in. Okay, just to be clear, this comparison list of mine assumes many things from what I've seen, not only from this one mega yacht, but from all the floating mansions I've seen in my years of sailing and cruising internationally. Number 1, we both have vessels seaworthy enough to make it out here to paradise, but mine costs about 200 times less than theirs does. That's because my vessel costs relatively $50,000. Theirs, on the other hand, conservatively $10 million. It's incredible to think how much more money is required for them to get out there than for me on a much more humble vessel. We're both in the same location though, enjoying paradise. Number 2, we can both take our boats anywhere we want, but I don't have to ask permission of a skipper, crew, or insurance agency. I just go. This is one huge advantage of owning such a humble boat like I do. I really don't have to worry about much. I'm all in with it, it is my home and everything, but I've kept everything to be as free as possible. I don't have to talk to anybody, ask anybody. If I want to go, I just go. Yes, that means I might sink my boat, but at least I have true freedom. Number 3, we can both drop the anchor and call that home. But with my smaller boat, I have far more places to choose from closer to shore. This is because I require less room to swing versus a 100-foot plus mega yacht plus all the chain and anchor they would have out, versus my humble 38-foot sailboat can get right up at close to shore, and as well because of my 4.5-foot draft I can go far shallower. This gives me a lot of different options that puts me right next to the beach, where oftentimes I can just jump right off and go right over to it. Yes, it's cool they can anchor out in the middle of the bay, but personally speaking, I like being up close to shore. I think it's cool being right next to a place that I can call my home and then move later. Number 4, we're both anchored in the same area, but I'm in a more secluded bay because of my shallower draft and attract far less attention. I think I could focus more about the attention aspect of this, but it is also true as well that because of my shallower draft, I get to be further over in the bay, closer and a little bit more protected. Now, not as many people for sure are going to be interested in my humble sailboat, but that gives me a lot of extra privacy, and I really enjoy that about my lifestyle. Number 5, both our boats are anchored out for a week or more at a time, but I don't have to go back to a dock for months and months to maintain my same lifestyle, versus a mega yacht is going to go back to the dock to reprovision at least once a week. They need to get fresh food, take on fuel, stay up next to the dock to get electricity so they can run all their air conditioners and everything else. What I truly love about my budget boat is it's designed to just go out and stay out. That's it. I don't need anything or anyone. I can really just keep living in the same spot, and it really feels like a home to me because of that. Number 6, we both have enough electricity for everything we have on board, but I make all of my own electricity with 0 emissions. Because I'm 100% solar powered, that means no generators for me. You look at these mega yachts, and if you get close to them, you'll hear the hum of large generators down below that are turning and burning fuel, powering especially air conditioners at all time, keeping the entire massive boat air conditioned. Versus on my sailboat, the wind blows in, I'm very used to the temperature, everything is powered through solar panels, and I really don't need anything else. I just love that quiet, simple life. Number 7, we both go sailing, but I don't have to lower mine down from a crane. Just pick up the anchor and set sail. Now it is pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie, that he can just crane down a sailboat off his mega yacht, but there's something to be said for the boat and the house all being one, knowing that it's just all one unit and making it all work, and when you do get that good sail, it feels even better because of it. Don't get me wrong, it's cool to be able to go out day sailing in a little boat like that, but I think there's something really special of trimming and tuning your own home and boat at the same time, and knowing that you're moving everything just by the wind. Number 8, we can both cross an ocean, but my fuel bill will not be 1% of 1% as much as theirs. Yes, they can probably go out in far crazier conditions than I can, but the amount of fuel they burn just to go 10 miles is more fuel than I'm gonna burn in an entire year. My humble sailboat only has a 19-gallon diesel tank, which lasts me for months and months because I usually sail on and off the anchor. And same thing, if I was to cross an ocean, I wouldn't be using much fuel. I can't keep that much on board. It would all be done by the wind, and there's something very special about that. Anybody can burn thousands of gallons of fuel, but it takes a real sailor to get across the ocean not using their motors. Number 9, we both have tenders that go fast, shallow, and get us to the beach. But mine goes shallower and can actually be beached, and with just one person, myself. That's something I really like about my boat is how self-sufficient it is even for just one person. When I'm ready to go, I hop in the dinghy and I just get over to the island. Because of the way the bottom of my high field dinghy is built, it's an aluminum bottom so I can drag it right up onto the beach. It's a big size dinghy, but just barely enough that I can tow it up myself. And it's pretty cool to be able to have that up on the beach and have myself a little picnic. Something these bigger tenders just can't do. As well, if there's a super shallow area, I can pull up the motor and walk the dinghy, and I can go far shallower than that thing ever could. Number 10, we both go to the same beaches, but I don't have to ask anyone's permission to prepare for the tender or the beach itself when I want to go. I just go as soon as the idea pops into my mind. This is what I love about true freedom, is when I'm ready to go, that's just it. I just jump out the back, hop in the dinghy, pull it, and go. I feel bad for somebody at a mega yacht who has to inform the stewardess that they would like to go to the beach, or have to tell the skipper they want the boat put closer. You know, it's just a whole different way of living, and I really love the freedom and independence that I have to be able to just go and do it on my own. Number 11, we both kite the same areas, but I actually go further and out to better, albeit more dangerous spots. This was after I watched the very wealthy clientele go out kiteboarding. He was an older man, and I noticed he wasn't going to the same places I was, he wasn't going as far out, and just all over it kind of cracked me up to see that I was doing more things and having more fun just by myself than he was with a whole team there to support him. Again, feeling pretty good to have that independence and sailing freedom to bring me to these gorgeous places. Number 12, we both kiteboard, but I get better photos and videos, even when I'm solo. Now, this was after I watched this cameraman try to follow after him with what looks like a 1980s camera, and there's no way the optical zoom on that was going to be good enough to see what the man was actually doing. And this kind of makes me laugh because even when I'm out there kiteboarding by myself, I can still get better footage than he can with an entire team. Again, something to be said for that self-reliance. Number 13, we both enjoy eating delicious seafood, but I actually catch my own, all on my own. This is actually the reason why I got into sailing with spearfishing. It is something that's in my core. It's something that I love and that I live with and that truly makes me feel alive. And to go out there and get my meal is something that really excites me and really pushes me to go further and more remote. And this is something that not many people get to experience, especially as they get older and they focus on things like work. Whereas I've made this my lifestyle, so to be able to go out there, to collect the food on my own and then cook it for myself and others is something I really enjoy and truly live for. Number 14, we're both on an ocean-going adventure, but I don't have to leave mine to go back to home or work. I'm working from home. Now, I'm assuming the guy that's on this mega yacht runs some sort of a mega corporation as well, and he has to go back home for the real world. But for me, this is my world. Living on the boat, day by day, exploring, seeing new places. I love that I can be on the boat and stay on the boat, and really do whatever I want as long as I want. I don't have to go back, I'm on no time constraint. I have all the time in the world. Number 15, we both get to meet interesting people along our journey. But I know anyone interested in me doesn't have ulterior motives. I'm too poor to be worth swindling. This is kind of the downside of accruing a lot of wealth. People will always want something from you. But I'll tell you what, when you're on a budget sailboat, people know they can't ask for anything from you. So when someone's genuinely interested in you and you want to have a conversation and really connect with someone, you know it's authentic, you know it's real, and you know you're going to have a good time with it. And that, I think, is truly priceless. Number 16, we're both enjoying life on the ocean in the same place, doing the same fun activities, but I'm half his age, and half the age of pretty much anybody else out on the water, especially somebody who's worked their entire life to have enough wealth for a mega yacht. And this is something you cannot buy back no matter how much money you have. and it's the real crux of life, that you get to the end of it and you only wish you had more time. I have time, and it's something that I'm truly grateful for. There is, however, one thing I will say for his way versus mine. Number one for that is that we both have showers on our boat, but he has hot water and privacy. On Adventure Board, it's definitely a very Spartan shower you're taking off the back with just a simple hose. It's a consideration I've had to make, but sailing in the tropics has not been a problem. But really, I'm obviously more than a bit jealous of all the amazing stuff he's got over there. And with very little effort, anyone could easily come up with 1,000 reasons why his setup is better than mine. But the purpose of this video is to appreciate the unique advantages a budget sailboat has over a multi-million-dollar setup, of which there are at least a few more. And finding those advantages is impressive with all these things considered. Also, the purpose of this video is to show that more money doesn't mean more fun. Less money doesn't mean less fun. There is a balance, but there's also a steep point of diminishing return. I can't imagine being happier having passed $100,000 as take home, and there's actually studies that support this. All in all, I think life has a strange sense of humor, most notably when you slow down and take a look around with a different perspective, something graciously afforded to those who live on a sailboat and have nothing better to do. So you don't need millions or billions to enjoy life at sea. Be grateful for what you have, and for what limited time you have to spend with those you hold dear. That is the true value. P.S. I had a lot of fun coming up with this list, but I'm keen to hear if you can come up with any more advantages of a budget sailboat like mine versus a mega yacht like that. Or, if you want to make an easier list, all the reasons his setup is better than mine. Alright, that does it for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next adventure. Cheers. Thanks for joining me on this adventure. I hope you feel inspired to begin adventures of your own. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. For an exclusive, in-depth look at this adventure lifestyle, and to further support my channel, become a member of my Patreon crew. Link in the description. I'll see you on the next adventure.